Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. There you go. Appreciate that. I had the microphone off because you got to turn the microphone off. That's okay. You didn't miss anything. All you missed was, the typical. This is high noon. We do this Monday through Friday, noon till whenever. That's my mom. My mom. I'm like, who's this bothering me? And it was my mom. Well, thank you, Mom. And all I had to do was just, look at the chat room, and you people were going, no sound, no sound. All right, we got you. Noon to whenever, high noon. That's what we do here. Second stream is Pillow Talk with myself and James Parker. That comes on in theory at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Want to have a little conversation about the Pillow Talk show. It ain't working. That's all I could just tell you. It ain't working. I do not know how long the Pillow Talk show will be a Monday through Thursday thing. James and I may do something occasionally when we have something, but honestly, it's just not working. It is nobody is listening, nobody is watching, nobody is listening, nobody is sharing it. You people are not helping the growth of either of these platforms, but programs, I should say. However, with that said, this one here, this show, High Noon, I have no intention of dialing it back. This is the show that I like to do this show. This show does itself. All I have to do is look at all of the things that are happening. It's just the Pillow Talk show. I love doing stuff with James, but the idea that we're doing it Monday through Thursday, every Monday through Thursday, it's like, why? Like, I don't know. We should just do special streams or special shows. What happened last night was the combination of slow internet. The internet was working really slow. We were getting ready to do the 9 o'clock show last night, the Pillow Talk show. And I had such a terrible drag on my visual. It was not good. It was no good. And it was driving me nuts. And that stuff drives me nuts. And then James was having difficulty connecting. And not his fault, not my fault, just another thing that was happening. So I'm waiting for him to connect. And it gets to be like 9:05. We're already 5 minutes late. And I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, this is not. So just pulled the plug on the show. Wasn't feeling it, man. I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling it. It's not. Look, this is not real work. This is not, going to a place that you hate doing. But there is thought that goes into these shows, and there is concern and anxiety is caused by it. And I don't know that we need to do that every night at 9 o'clock. I don't know. And I also think that the 9 o'clock show is cutting into me jumping on and doing live breaking news, because when something happens in the world that I would like otherwise jump on and start covering as it happens, I find myself going, well, I'm going to be on anyway in a couple of hours. We'll talk about it then. I don't think that's not good, because the breaking news coverage, you look at the shows, if you go to pugscast.com where you can catch all the shows, it's the breaking news. I mean, these shows, I'm getting like 60 views on these daily shows. You people are not sharing. If you enjoy the show and you want it to continue, you got to help promote the show. That's how social media works. Like 60 views for like a regular show, which is nice. And I appreciate that. But then you look at like a special report and there's like 2,000 views in like an hour. So I don't know. I have concern. There will be a Pillow Talk show tonight, and James and I will probably have a longer, deeper conversation about the future of that stream. This one, however, the High Noon show is not going anywhere. I love doing this. This I would do if I wasn't streaming. I would still just be sitting there for 2 hours every day looking at the news and, sort of briefing myself up. I gotta tell you, man, that Pillow Talk show, like last night, I was just disgusted. There was nothing. I was like, what do I want to do here? What do we want? I mean, I love talking to James. I could talk to James on the phone for 2 hours, but it's not stuff that I would want to stream. I don't know, personal stuff. We talk like that, but that's not for stream. I don't know. So we're developing. This is a developing situation, and we'll definitely do a Pillow Talk show tonight, Thursday, and we'll figure out what we're going to do moving forward with that show and how we can maybe make it better. I mean, maybe I do breaking news with James. Maybe we do two people. I don't know. We'll see. But he's a busy guy. He's got like 15 kids. So He can't do that. He's a battleship, or I'm a fast frigate. I can try. I've got my kid every other weekend, and I see him during the week a couple times. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's been about. I had a sleepless night last night. I was like, that show. I get super excited to do this one, the High Noon Show. I don't get super excited to do that one. So, developing, we'll figure that out. Okay, let's get into what today is. Here's how the High Noon Show works. We tell you everything about today. We tell you all the things that happened on history that made today memorable. We talk about some of the people who were born, who made contributions, and then we mourn some of the passings of people who died on this day. And then, and only then, after I feel comfortable that we are all prepped up on what this day has been historically, we can then jump into all the topics that are crafting it today. Okay, that's how it works. That's what High Noon is. And welcome to High Noon. It is Thursday afternoon, the 27th of October, year of our Lord 2022. October 27th is the 300th day of the year. 300. That means 65 days remaining until the end of the year. So get those, you know the rest. Born on this day in 939, which is weird because it is also listed as his death day. I just think this has more to do with poor record keeping than a coincidence. Like, I don't think he died on the same day he was born, but 939, I don't know what the record keeping was like back then. 939, on this day, Athelstan, the first king of England, dies and is succeeded by his and is succeeded by his half brother Edmund I. Hold on, I did that wrong. Okay, all right. No, this is the day he died. I'm sorry, this is the history stuff. Oh, see, my head is elsewhere. By the way, I'll have you know, allergies just about all gone. They've run their course. Starting to feel a lot better. Thank you so much for the concern. Okay, so it was Athelstan. He died on this day, and he's succeeded by his half-brother Edmund I. Now, why do I mention Athelstan? Because I watch Vikings and The Last Kingdom, and Athelstan is one of the main characters. He's the son of Alfred the Great, who we talked about yesterday. Alfred the Great won all the battles and unified the kingdoms, but it was his son who is credited as being the first true king of all of England. He inherited all of England when Alfred died. On this day in 1682, Philadelphia is founded in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Philadelphia. Happy birthday, Philadelphia. On this day in 1838, Missouri Governor Libbern Boggs issues the extermination order, which orders all Mormons to leave the state of Missouri or be killed. Yeah, sure. Good old days. America. We were never really close to being what Jefferson envisioned. This is 1838. And a governor just said, I'm going to murder people because of your religion. That is not, that's early goings in the whole American process. And that was not someone who dug on what the founding fathers were laying down. The Missouri governor just wrote an executive order that said, we're going to start murdering Mormons if they stay in our state. On this day in 1838, that went down. Probably won re-election. Probably a statue to this son of a bitch somewhere down there, right? On this day in 1904, the first underground New York City subway line opens, later designated as the IRT Broadway to 7th Avenue line. 1904. On this day in 1936, Miss Wallis Simpson obtains her divorce, which leads to her marrying King Edward VIII of the United Kingdom, thus forcing his abdication from the throne. Now, why is this a big linchpin of history? Because we just lost the queen. The queen had been queen for like a billion years, and she saw it all. She did it all. I love The Crown. The Crown on Netflix. New season coming. It's the season where they kill off Diana, if that's what you believe. The Queen of England wasn't supposed to be the Queen of England. She was not even in the direct line of succession. She was that her uncle was. She was like the cousin family. And then when her uncle, King Edward VIII, married the American divorcee, he couldn't be king anymore. And he didn't have any kids. So it didn't go directly to it went to his brother. And his brother became the King of England, which then immediately catapulted Elizabeth into the heir apparent role there. She was the what do they call it? The Her Royal Highness, the princess, she became next in line. She wasn't supposed to be. She was not supposed to be. She was supposed to just have a normal life as a royal. She wasn't supposed to be the queen, but it was on this day that the events occurred that led to her being tossed into the direct line of succession and becoming the Queen of England for like 1,000,000,000 years. On this day in 1961, NASA tests the first Saturn I rocket. This was the Apollo 1 mission. Big deal for us space nerds because it's the day that we decided, or not decided, but found out that we had a vehicle that could actually carry us to the moon. We weren't sure. We didn't know what kind of a rocket it would take, so they built the Saturn program. Largest rockets ever created. They were massive, and it was on this day that the first Apollo 1 mission, the testing of the Saturn rocket, was a success, and we all know the rest of that. On this day in 1962. Now, this is a great story. This is a story that I learned about in college. Never heard about it since. I mean, I don't know if it's a movie. It certainly should be a movie, but it's one of these little pieces of hidden history that I don't think we all know about. On this day in 1962, by refusing to agree to the firing of a nuclear torpedo at a U.S. warship, Vasily Arkhipov averts nuclear war. Because of the Cold War, we never learned about the heroic actions of Vasily Arkhipov. Stupid name. Arkhipov. It's Arkhipov. Vasily Arkhipov. This was during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and there were U.S. destroyers that were approaching a do-not-cross line. And the Russian submarine, it was a nuclear Russian submarine, they had decided that they, without going to the Kremlin, they were in an immediate situation that required something, and they were preparing to fire a nuclear missile at the American warships, a nuclear torpedo. Now, in the Russian system, under wartime conditions back then, I don't know, maybe it's the same. You needed to have the approval of all three officers on the ship. Now, Arkhipov was the third officer. He was the intelligence officer. There was a captain, and then there was like the captain's first mate. I guess we call it here. I don't know what we call them. The captain and the first mate were like, let's start a nuclear war. I mean, it's very Hunt for Red October. Very Hunt for Red October. And they needed all three to approve it. In order for all three, I don't know if it's like a key system or whatever, but Arkhipov said no. Arkhipov said, absolutely not. I am not going to be the third vote here to start a nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen because the checks and balances, I guess, worked. But think of how brave this guy had to be. I mean, he had to go against his captain. He had to go against the first. I mean, it was Vasily Arkhipov, man, is a name that every American should know. And you know what? We don't know it. But it was on this day in 1962 that this whole thing went down. On this day in 1962, we almost got into a full-fledged nuclear war. There were Russian commanders that were demanding it. And this is the guy who said, nah, I can't go along with this. I mean, the world would have been a much different place if that had gone off. On this day in 1979, St. Vincent and the Grenadines gains its independence from the United Kingdom. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I love that band. That's a great band. I don't even know why that's listed here. On this day in 2018, a gunman opens fire on a Pittsburgh synagogue, killing 11 and injuring 6, including 4 police officers. We remember that. Things have gotten progressively worse for the Jewish community in America. It's now openly normal on social media for regular people to talk about hate the Jews. I don't know where we are. It's crazy. Let's do some birthdays. Some people who were born on this day. On this day in 1932, Sylvia Plath, American poet, novelist, and short story writer. She killed herself. She's seriously depressed. Seriously. Sylvia Plath, so depressed that she wrote some of like the world's most famous poetry. I don't know anything about it because apparently she wrote like girl poetry, and girls love Sylvia Plath. Killed herself by sealing off her kitchen and sticking her head in the oven. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Didn't she burn her ears? I mean, I don't know how that worked, but she died. She killed herself. Like the 60s, early 60s, I think is when she killed herself. Born on this day in 1939, John Cleese. English actor, comedian, screenwriter, and producer, and an old, funny dude who is all out of fucks to give. He does not care. I love John Cleese. Also, born on this day in 1940, John Gotti, American mob boss. He died in 2002 of cancer. How old was he? He's only 62. Oh, they go so young. Born on this day in 1941, Dick Trickle, American race car driver. I got no anecdotes. I just wanted to say Dick Trickle. I just like that name. Born on this day in 1942, American singer-songwriter Lee Greenwood. I understand he's proud to be an American. Born on this day in 1946, Ivan Reitman. He had a hell of a week last week. Who was it that was talking smack on him? Who was it? It was somebody who I kind of liked, and then I didn't like. Because I was like, oh, you're a baby. Anna Faris. That's who it was. Anna Faris was dragging Ivan Reitman last week. Well, happy birthday to you, Ivan Reitman, because you made a lot of people laugh in your life. A lot of joy. You brought a lot of happiness, and you yelled at Anna Faris. And at this point, I'm okay with that. Born on this day in 1951, Jane Kennedy, American model, actress, and sportscaster. Well, she was a model actress who then pervy guys at CBS Sports, CBS Football said, "Hey, let's hire a girl. Let's hire a hot chick to just sit on the. She doesn't have to know anything about football. We'll prep her up before each and every show." And they did. Jane Kennedy was not a big football expert. They just prepped her with everything. And now we have good-looking women who actually know sports, and I'm all for that. I'm all for attractive people knowing sports. What? I don't even know what that means. But Jane Kennedy, when I was like 10 years old, it was Jane Kennedy and the young Janet Jackson on Different Strokes that made me, as a white boy in a lily white suburb, go, oh, okay, so I'm attracted to black women too. That's cool. At least I know I'm not a sexual racist, I mean, because you worry about that stuff. You worry about how you're gonna. But that Jane Kennedy, I was like, huh. She is about as beautiful a woman as I have ever seen. Although there wasn't really a fear of me being a racist because, I mean, I was madly in love. Walter Payton was my hero, at 10 years old. So there wasn't a problem there. But it was young Janet Jackson on Different Strokes where I went, oh, wow. And it was Jane Kennedy doing football where I went, oh, okay. Because you have to understand, we were very sheltered. When you lived in a lily white suburb and you were 10 years old, you didn't see, just didn't see it. But then I was like, oh, okay. So very good. Let's see, what else? Born on this day in 1958, Simon Le Bon, Duran Duran, English singer, songwriter, lead singer of Duran Duran. I like Simon Le Bon. I saw Simon Le Bon and Robert Smith from The Cure get into it. I've told this story. We were backstage. We were doing a Q101 Summer Jingle Ball Bar, whatever. It was one of these big concert events. We're working at the alternative station that I worked at for a couple of years. And the co-headliners were, hold on. Oh, hold on. Hold on, guys. We got a real problem here with what the hell? Hold on. That's it, dog. Get off the cord, dog. Jeez Louise. Hold on. My battery is just completely dropping on the computer. It's not working. Now it is. There we go. Now we're charging. I do not have one power cord that works at more than, say, 50% of the time. They just don't work. And I'll have you know that when I started this show 25 minutes ago, I was at 100%. I just looked down. I was at 30%. That's how quickly this battery drops. Knock it off. Get out of there. Stupid dog. Stupid dog is killing me right now. She's okay. Not charging. Said it was charging. Supposed to be charging. Plugged in, better battery. Battery life is all the way down to best battery life. And it is not charging. It says it's charged. I mean, it says the little light says that it's charging. But it's not charging. Oh, this is the worst. This is the absolute worst. All right. And I got a lot to do today. Hopefully this will hold up. We are currently, oh yeah, look. So I was at 30% a minute ago. Now I'm at 43%. 43% is available and it's plugged in. Not charging. It's not plugged in and charging. It's plugged in, but not charging because so many issues. All right, let's move on. Born on this day in 1967, Scott Weiland, American singer and songwriter. Scott Weiland, born on this day, died in 2015, Stone Temple Pilots. Born on this day in 1984, Kelly Osbourne, English television personality, it says. Okay, whatever. I like grown-up Kelly Osbourne a lot more than I like teenage Kelly Osbourne. Teenage Kelly Osbourne was kind of a bitch. She was kind of like a stuck-up little rich girl princess, and I just thought, oh, she's terrible. As a grown-up, she seems a lot nicer. She does. She seems like she's a lot more nice. A lot more nice. Yeah, I know. I said it like that. I apologize. Born on this day in 1997, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, American basketball player. Oh, Lonzo. My Bulls would be so good if Lonzo was just healthy. He's been out for a year and a half now. His first half season, we acquired him. He was lights out. He was destroying the league for until like December of 2021. Yeah, to like December of 2021. He was destroying it. We were like, oh my God, we got Zach LaVine, we got DeMar DeRozan, we got Vooch, we got Lonzo is just lights out. And then Lonzo has been gone ever since. Supposed to be available for the start of this season, but no, I don't know what's wrong with Lonzo's knee. Lonzo's knee is, we've got another Derrick Rose situation. I mean, not that Lonzo Ball was ever Derrick Rose, but okay, stop talking about the Bulls. Nobody cares. I know. Let's talk about some people who passed away on this day. We lost a couple. Dead on this day in 2013, Lou Reed, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, actor. I don't know anything about Lou Reed. The Velvet Underground, terrible band. What do you mean terrible band? This is terrible. Come on. Lou Reed's a genius. Is he? I don't know. Sweet Jane is a nice song. I mean, I don't know. Dead on this day in 2019, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, leader of the Islamic State of Iraq and ISIS, or ISIL, or whatever we're supposed to call it. Whatever, they're gone now. They don't seem to be a problem anymore. ISIS, on this day in 2019, lost their leader. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, suicide. Suicide bombing. He was strapped with a suicide vest, and he blew up a bunch of kids too, but tried to take. They were closing in on him. And he went boop, and now he's dead. All right, let's get into all the things that are trending today. The big news stories, the things people are buzzing about. GDP growth. GDP growth is up. Let's see here. What is the story here? Here's why the GDP growth numbers coming out today are being talked about. Because with growth, it proves that we're not in a recession. We got insane inflation. Let's not kid ourselves about the insane inflation. They are raising the prices on everything, and it doesn't seem to be meshing with the typical reasons why prices get raised. I've been saying this for a long time. I use the example of the Dollar Tree when inflation was up at 11%. And the Dollar Tree raised all prices by 25 cents. Okay. Everything at the Dollar Tree is supposed to be $1. So if inflation is up 11%, I would be comfortable with them if they wanted to raise their prices 12 cents, 13 cents, 14 cents, whatever. That's fine. They raised everything 25 cents and posted record numbers for the last quarter. They did. They took advantage of us knowing that inflation is happening. And they went, well, let's just juice it up. Let's make this an advantage for us. Okay. So I've talked about that. Did you see the report today from Shell Oil? Remember how bad the gas prices were? Remember, we've got to raise prices on gas because, you got the war in the Ukraine and we're not going to make any money. And so gas prices skyrocketed. And we were sort of led to believe by the media narrative that this was all just expected. No, it wasn't. Shell today posted I got to get this. $9.5 billion, I think, in the last quarter. Well, let's Shell profits. Here, look at this. It's insane. It's insane. Shell Oil off bilking us had a record quarter. They raised all of our gas. Here, where is it? This story is insane. You're not going to like this. Shell Oil beat their quarter 3 estimates by 10%. 10%. 1 year ago at this time, it was 4%. 1 year ago at this time, when we didn't have insane gas prices, they had posted a quarter 3 up green arrow of 4%. It's 10% now. They've made 10% more. They are making money hand over fist, and we're just happily paying it at the price at the gas pumps because we're like, well, there is a war. Stop it with that shit. This is called profiteering. Shell announces 3 hours ago, Shell reports earnings of $9.45 billion, its second highest profit quarter in history. So there you go. There was no reason. Just people taking advantage of the working man. That's all it is. We're going to, if all the media is pearl clutching about inflation, that means that we can raise our prices because people are expecting it. And even if we don't need to raise our prices, we can really make huge profits this quarter. Really, 25 cents at the Dollar Tree. You think it would get me this angry? It did. It got me this angry. Texas DPS is trending. Texas DPS. The Department of Public Safety is trending because, the chief of the DPS is under a whole bunch of pressure now to resign. This colonel, he's what's his name? I gotta figure out his name here because it's not downloading. It's just spinning. The icon is spinning. Can you tell I'm a little irritated? I'm a little irritated today. The internet is working as slow as it was yesterday, and the battery is losing power. We are 38%. Plugged in, 38%. This show's going to be over pretty soon, folks. I'm sorry. The show's going to end when the stupid battery breaks. Let's see here. So it's about the Uvalde thing. It's Colonel Stephen McGraw. Colonel Stephen McGraw, early after Uvalde, as head of the DPS, said that he would resign if an investigation uncovered that there were things that could have been differently. Well, here we are. We had that report. It was found that there were things that should have been done differently, that there were training issues, and the officers didn't react in the way that they should have to save the lives of children who are inside the school at Uvalde. And now Colonel Stephen McGraw is saying, I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. You said you would in the moment because it sounded like the right thing to do. And now you're not doing it. Now all these parents are like, hey, he's got to go. And he's dug in. He ain't going to quit. Russia is trending because Russia is now threatening to blow up our satellites. It's the first direct sort of threat against the United States because of our involvement in helping the Ukrainian people fight for their freedom and independence. Russia's now going to blow up. No Spotify for you or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's saber rattling continues. The New York Post is trending today. The New York Post is trending because somebody hacked their sites. Somebody hacked their Twitter account earlier today, late last night, and they were posting all kinds of terrible things like execute AOC and all that kind of stuff. So that's why New York Post is trending. Fentanyl is trending. Oh, man, this is I feel like I'm rushing through the show because I don't want the battery to die. Why is it not charging? I don't know why it's not charging. I don't get it. Sorry, folks. I have no idea why the battery isn't charging. Unplugged. Oh, now we're down to... Nope. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really having a bad day, Al. I'm just irritated endlessly. By this when I signed on, I was at 100% and plugged in, and now I'm at 35%, and it's dropping quickly. It's not plugged in. I can't. It's plugged in. The cord is plugged in. All right, now it's not even. All right, now we're in trouble. Nope. I'm telling you, man. I have 2 Dell computers, and neither of their cords work. All right. Now it shows that it's charging. Yeah, but it's not saying it's charging. The icon is showing that it's charging, and it's still dropping. This is not charging. God damn it. I don't blame anybody. Okay, there we go. Now we just dropped another 2%. Now we're down to third. All right. Forget about the fentanyl poisoning. We'll just forget it. 2 people got drugs delivered to them in Manhattan. Fancy stockbrokers and rich people, and they have drug delivery services in Manhattan apparently. And they got some cocaine, and it was laced with fentanyl, and now they're dead. So, just don't do cocaine. We're in an era where we can't do cocaine because the greed of being. That's the thing you don't understand. The fentanyl is used as a cut. Okay, they used to use baby formula. They used to use baby laxative. They used to use all kinds of things to cut cocaine so that you could sell more packages of it. It's not, you're not getting pure cocaine. You're getting cocaine mixed with something else that looks like cocaine so that you think you're getting. So that's always been the process of drug dealing, right? That's at least with cocaine and stuff like that. At some point, they started cutting it with fentanyl. And I understand why the drug dealers are still doing this. It doesn't. They're killing off. It's causing more pressure. So that happened in New York. I was more interested in the whole drug delivery thing. That I like. That's one of the things that needs to happen when we get legal. When we all go legal on the weed. Weed is not cocaine. There's no fentanyl in weed. You're fine. I like that idea. I like the idea of just calling somebody and having them show up with pot at your door. That's good. That's a New York thing. Apparently, you can get more than that. You can even get fentanyl-laced cocaine if you're so inclined. Let's see here. Arizona watchers. This is very weird. So last night there was a break-in. We had a Watergate situation at some Arizona politician. I don't care. We don't really do politics here. But this one is weird. And it's weird because of it's sort of timely, really, when you think about it. Letters have been sent to Arizona Democrats saying, "I'm watching you." Cops probe creepy election letters to Arizona Democrats and voters. Let's see here. Okay, so it's just nothing is working today. Nothing is working. And now we're down below 20%. So just so we're clear, the show's going to end at any moment. We may not even get to the fun Kanye stuff. An anonymous group, which calls itself Ben Sent Us, a reference to Ben Franklin, has mailed out threatening letters en masse to more than a dozen county-level Democratic Party chairpersons in the state, vowing that members will be locating your homes and warning that those who are seen as allowing election fraud, quote, will be considered a traitor and dealt with accordingly. Okay. So the reason this is interesting is because you guys know about that new Netflix series, The Watcher, with Bobby Cannavale and who else is in it? Oh, the great Margot Martindale. Oh, and the great Mrs. Stifler. Who is Stifler's mom? What's her name? I can't think of her name now. She's genius. Anyway, it's a great cast. It's the latest Ryan Murphy thing, which I don't like Ryan Murphy. I'm so done with him. But this is good. I started watching The Watcher, and it's based on a true story from a number of years ago. You might remember, of some people who bought this beautiful home in suburban New Jersey, and they started receiving these creepy letters from somebody saying, "I am the watcher of the house," and all like really creepy stuff. And they ended up it became a whole thing. I don't want to ruin the Netflix series The Watcher for you, and it's not, line for line what happened in real life. Ryan Murphy is taking some creative license with it, but it's based on the real story of what these people went through when they bought this beautiful house. This seems like this Ben sent us campaign of sending creepy letters seems to be informed by people who watch Netflix. It seems that's what it seems like. It seems like this is just, hey, did you see that new Netflix series where the person sends the creepy notes to the people who live in the house? We should do that, but with Democrats. Okay, so there we are. That's the world we live in. Let's see. Yeah, Skechers is trending. Skechers is trending for a good reason, because you know how Kanye's in trouble for his not liking Jews and all that kind of thing. So Adidas dropped him, and he's got these stupid shoes, these Yeezy shoes, or Yeezy. I don't even know what they are. Have you seen them? They're all so ugly. They're all just such stupid shoes. It's like this guy just makes stupid shit, and people go, "He's a genius. I don't understand it, but it must be great." No, that's not the case, as we're learning with Kanye West. He's not really all that great at anything other than going into a studio and making some banging jams. That's kind of his thing. Anything that he does outside of that is a little bit weird and stupid. Okay. So Adidas dropped him, and Kanye decides, well, I'm just going to take this on my own. So Kanye and his team, I don't know who his team is anymore. He's lost his attorneys. He's lost his publicist. He's lost his agent. He's lost his Universal Music has dropped him. He's lost his main financial partner in Adidas. You know, that he's no longer a billionaire. It's estimated that he's lost almost $700 million over the past week, which, is all right. So he shows up at Skechers headquarters, just shows up unannounced yesterday. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Kanye. We're going to go to business together." And they escorted him out. They were like, "Get out of here. We don't even want you on our premises." Kanye didn't do the due diligence that it requires before any important business meeting, because had he done that, he'd have learned that Skechers is run by a Jewish family who is very active in fighting anti-Semitism and all of that kind of stuff. But so he's a dumbass, and he just like, "I like Skechers, let's go to Skechers." And he goes to Skechers and he humiliates himself. But honestly, he's so broken as a human being. It couldn't possibly have registered how humiliating that was for him. I'm certain that he just lives in this world where nothing is humiliating for him, because he's because he's 30. Here we go. We're dropping. Also in the Kanye world, did you guys know he got a school? He's got a stupid school in Simi Valley. It's like a super expensive private school, and it's got like weird courses. Like your kids can go there, but one of the classes, like right next to math and science, is parkour. That's a class. He's teaching kids. And it's kindergarten through high school. And it seems like one of these academy plays where a lot of pro athletes are doing this, where they're just starting private high school so that they can recruit really good athletes and then, be a part of their careers as they move forward. That's what it seems like. And so Kanye has this like all-star team of kids from all over the country that attend this Donda Academy, and they play basketball, and it's the first year and it's the first season, and these kids have committed to this school, and it seemed like a good deal. And, well, the Donda Academy basketball team has been booted from 3 now major tournaments that they were scheduled to play in. They will no longer be participating. They're not welcome. So these kids are screwed. But then comes this. On the heels of that story breaking last night, the entire Donda Academy has now been closed. They've closed the whole school. The school has only been in operation. They cashed the checks to the parents who wanted to send their kids to the stupid Kanye West private school. I'm sure that those checks won't be refunded in timely fashion. They've shut down the entire school. Now there is a whole bunch of kids who have to figure out a new school to go to. There are kids that lived there, the basketball recruits, who now are just left high and dry. Why? Because Kanye's a freaking moron. And Kanye West Donda Academy closed with immediate effect amid anti-Semitism meltdown. The massive fallout from Kanye West's recent anti-Semitic rants had already cost him multiple commercial partnerships and his billionaire status. Now, his school has become the latest victim of the controversy. Donda Academy principal Jason Engel emailed parents Wednesday morning saying, "There is no school tomorrow," adding, "At the discretion of our founder," that's Kanye, "Donda Academy will close for the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year, effective immediately." The secretive Simi Valley School, which requires families to sign non-disclosure agreements, sees students wear Balenciaga. Is that a fashion brand? I don't know. See students wear Balenciaga uniforms and offers unusual enrichment courses, including parkour. The school plans to begin afresh in September of 2023. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Jeez. I hope this dude doesn't bounce back from this. I really do. I'm so sick of this guy. Valerie Bertinelli is now responding to yesterday's Matthew Perry story. Matthew Perry's got a new book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. It's not even out yet. But he told a story about how he made out with Valerie Bertinelli in front of Eddie Van Halen, who was passed out at the time. And he talks about how much he loved Valerie Bertinelli and how she didn't really reciprocate after they made out. And he felt bad about that. Valerie Bertinelli is talking today, or sort of. She made a TikTok where she says, "Yeah, I did some stupid things in my 20s. That's it. That's all she said. She's like, "Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it happened. I was in my 20s. I was trying to have fun." Yeah, there you have it. So that's the Valerie Bertinelli response to the Matthew Perry story. However, we do have another Matthew Perry story today because his book also talks about how he wishes Heath Ledger hadn't died and that Keanu Reeves did. Yeah, he writes in the book. He writes in the book about how so many of his friends from the party days are no longer around. He talks about Chris Farley. He talks about River Phoenix. And when he's talking about River Phoenix, it's just such an unnecessary shot. He says something to the effect of, how is it that River Phoenix is dead and Heath Ledger is dead, but Keanu Reeves is still alive? Well, because Keanu Reeves wasn't a fool. How about that, Matthew Perry? That's why. How is that? River Phoenix was your friend, and, he seemed to have a big career ahead of him, but he was a drug addict. He made stupid short-term decisions, and it cost him his life. Same with Chris Farley. He made stupid short-term decisions, and it cost him his life. You know who didn't make stupid short-term decisions? Keanu Reeves. That dude's been hitting bangers since 1990. That guy has been around every couple of years. That dude has another huge Speed, John Wick. Okay, so I'm out. That's it. But he's got other Matrix. I forgot about the Matrix. Come on, man. That's stupid. It's so unnecessary. Such an ugly thing. Russell Wilson is trending. Russell Wilson is trending today. All right, 22% battery. It's gonna crash at like 14, just so you know. Russell Wilson is trending because I'm really starting to dislike Russell Wilson, and I'm starting to see something about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a big old phony. Russell Wilson, at some point early in his career, decided that he was going to be a certain type of athlete that says, the right thing and always seems to be doing the best. Like, it's all surface stuff. It's and look, it served him well. He was great with Pete Carroll. He was great with the Seahawks. Not so great so far with the Denver Broncos. This is looking like a pretty bad trade for the Denver Broncos. But he's a big phony. He's like the football equivalent of Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez is such a phony son of a bitch. And that's what I think Russell Wilson is too. And here's a story coming out just that amplifies that. So the Denver Broncos are flying to London to play there. And apparently it was an overnight flight, and all of the other players on the team were crashed out and sleeping because they're over the ocean and it's, 3 a.m. or whatever. Russell Wilson Via reports, spent the entire 8-hour flight running up and down the aisle of the plane doing high steps, just showing everybody how hard he works out and how much he tries. That is such phony bullshit. That is just. Anyway, that's why Russell Wilson is trending. I'm telling you, he is the Alex Rodriguez of football. He is a big old phony. Talented player, big old phony. When the cameras come on, Jeffrey Dahmer special is trending. This is a fun story. This is coming to us from right here in Texas, Lubbock, Texas. There is a Lubbock pizza place that is under fire because this Halloween they are selling a Jeffrey Dahmer special pizza, which is a pizza that looks like there's fingers on it, and then there's like eyeballs. All right, so here's the story. And it just looks like terrible Lubbock pizza too. It just looks like, ugh. You go to Lubbock, you get barbecue. You go to Lubbock, maybe you get Tex-Mex or something like. You don't go to Lubbock to get pizza. Blame Halloween or Netflix or both, but a Texas pizzeria is cutting off a slice of ghoulish Jeffrey Dahmer fascination, which is pissing off some people and drawing others into the joint. Capital Pizza in Lubbock is now proudly displaying an almost literal hot mess. It's called the Jeffrey Dahmer Special. Yes, that's a finger and an eyeball surrounded by what looks like blood and guts. It's not real, of course, but the imagery alone is making some people lose their appetite. The restaurant manager tells TMZ one of his servers came up with the concept in honor of Halloween and the immediate popularity of the Netflix series. All right, so I'm going to stop it right here. These people are morons. These people are complete idiots. It's in honor of Halloween. You know, we're going to celebrate this man who destroyed so many people's lives. There are still families out there who lost loved ones in the most ghoulish way. But it's Halloween and it's funny, and we're not going to take it. Look, I don't think this place ought to be shut down. I don't think we ought to be picketing in front. No, you're doing something we disagree with. But this is fucking bad taste. This is a problem with America right now. We have no guardrails on taste. Nobody has good taste anymore. Some do. We do. Of course, those of us joining every day for High Noon, we have the good taste. This is not a Freddy Krueger special. This is not a Frankenstein pizza. This is not a Jason Voorhees pizza, okay? Those would be fine for Halloween. You know why? Because those fictional characters didn't actually destroy lives, didn't actually cause immeasurable pain to people. And if you can't make that distinction, you're broken or you're almost broken. That bad taste. This is in bad frickin' taste. It's funny because it's Dahmer and it's on Netflix. Yeah, do you know what Dahmer really did? Yeah, I saw the Netflix. It was great. He's a real monster. He's not a fictional Halloween boo, let's scare the kids kind of thing. He's a real monster. And I'm telling you, in 50 years, Jeffrey Dahmer is going to be like a fictional character. It's just bad taste. That's all. We don't need to shut the pizza place down. But, if you live in that area and you like their pizza, maybe you go, well, these people are really stupid. So maybe that's the decision you make as an individual. But people are protesting. That's why I brought that up. Those people are just as moronic as the dude who went, that's a great idea. Let's romanticize a serial killer. Let's turn him into a fuzzy Halloween kid-friendly guy. Ooh, look, fingers and eyeballs. Ooh, you know why? Because he ate people's fingers and eyeballs. Jesus, that's just... Again, it's not Jason Voorhees. It's not Michael Myers. It's not Frankenstein. This is a real person who did real awful things. And look, I've told the story. One of the first things that I ever did in radio was I had to go up to Milwaukee and I had to cover that on the day that they were bringing all the stuff out of his apartment. And I stood there. Behind police tape and I watched those cops come out with those giant blue refrigerator things or whatever they were. And there were people in there and there were people who lived in that building who were freaking out. It was a very real, very scary, very creepy vibe. And it doesn't lend itself to a fun night of pizza. It just doesn't. It's bad taste. Let's see. Twitter porn is trending. Apparently Twitter's got a lot of porn. I don't ever see any porn on my Twitter. I don't know what that's about. But people are complaining because a whole lot of Twitter is now safe for work. Well, here's what I would think. Twitter, it works. You get the stuff you follow. So I don't see porn on my because I don't follow any porn. I don't. That's not a thing that I use for Twitter. So if you're complaining about your Twitter feed not being safe for work, that's because you're looking at porn. That's because you're following people who do that kind of stuff. It doesn't just appear randomly on your timeline. I don't think I've ever seen porn on. That's not true. Yes, I have actually. Yes, I have. There has been occasions. But apparently, for some people, it's a big problem. Twitter's trying to figure it out. 19%, 19% battery. Oh, my goodness. Facebook is trending as well. Facebook is trending because parent company Meta reported third quarter revenue of just $285 million in its metaverse division. That's well short of analysts' estimates of $406 million, and it's down $452 million in the second quarter. I don't know what any of that means. All I know is here's the story. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, decided that virtual reality was the future of Facebook. So they put all of this attention into developing virtual, and they didn't really do anything. Nothing has happened yet. And you want to know why? Because they realized, holy shit, nobody on Facebook is going to be an early adopter to virtual reality. Why? Because everybody on Facebook is your aunt. Everybody on Facebook is like old. Facebook is the old thing. So it was a big miscalculation on the part of Meta, where they went, we're going to make all of those grannies on Facebook, we're going to turn them into virtual reality freaks. No, they're not going to adopt. They're going to keep doing Facebook the way they've been doing Facebook. And every time you change something, you move a button or you add a feature, they freak out and melt down. So you really think they're going to jump into virtual reality with their Facebook? That's not happening. More of this. Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg's got some problems, man. Zuckerberg lost. Hold on. What's the number? Because of this new Facebook report, Zuckerberg is, he ain't even one of the 10 richest people in the world anymore. He is taking a big hit. Mark Zuckerberg's wealth wipeout hits $100 billion as Meta misses again. The Meta CEO's fortune has tumbled by more than any other billionaires this year, accumulating losses of nearly $100 billion in just 13 months. $100 billion. To put that into perspective, we just talked about Kanye. Kanye lost $700 million and wiped him out of being a billionaire. $700 million. $100 billion is what Zuckerberg was worth. Well, no, he was worth like $200 billion, but he's lost $100 billion. Crazy. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, this is a nice story. We'll end on this one because the show is about to come to a screeching halt. We are at 20%. 20% plugged in. The little light says it's charging, but it's not. It's not charging. Well, 19%. There we go. All right, so let's get to this. Are you guys familiar with the Kentucky Dad story? This is so, it's a feel good. It's just a feel good and maybe a reminder of how difficult some people have it, how hard their lives are, and what a struggle it is to maintain some semblance of a normal life, a normal good moments, despite the hard work, despite whatever shit the world is throwing at you. You make the effort to have these good moments. Well, something happened the other day, and it's sort of taken off on Twitter, and it's trending now. A father took his son to a University of Kentucky Wildcat scrimmage. Not even a real game. Just, he probably can't get tickets to a real game. And the father was a coal miner in Kentucky. And he showed up for the game coming straight from the coal mine with his little 4-year-old son. It's such a sweet story. And he's sitting there in the stands watching the game with his son. and people started taking pictures of him because he was covered in coal dust. He was still wearing his coal miner outfit. He's covered in dirt. It's obvious that he ran from the mine, picked up his kid, drove him straight to the game, and the kid's got a massive smile. The kid is enjoying. Oh, the kid is loving it, and it's really powerful. And John Calipari, who is the head coach of Kentucky, he kind of started this whole thing because he forwarded or shared a picture of the dad and his son, 17% of the dad and his son. And he said, I come from a coal mining family, blah, blah, blah. This moved me. If this father wants tickets to games, blah, whatever. So Calipari's now hooking this father, and because he was so moved by this picture. Let me show you this picture. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really quite something. And there's a whole bunch of them. So we'll scroll through some of them. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we will not. Down to 15%. Down to 15%. I don't know why this isn't charging. This is the worst that it's ever been. All right, so here's the pictures. It's not the picture that went around, but it's one of the pictures. There's a whole bunch of pictures here. A bunch of people took. It's really sweet. And if we're gonna go out early today because our shit's not working properly, then we'll go out with this. Look at this. All right, so there you have it. There's the dad. Look at the little kid. You see the dad? He's still wearing his reflective coal mining uniform. He's covered in soot. There he is. Look at him. Look at it. The kid. The kid doesn't know any different. The kid's just like, hey, man, I'm at a basketball game with my dad. And you just know he was like, we're late. We got to get there. I mean, he didn't even have time to clean himself up. He just came out of the coal mine, scooped up the kid, took his kid to the game. It's just a really nice story. East Kentucky coal miner reacts to shout out from John Calipari. Oh, and there they are, looking cleaner. Look at the picture on the left of them looking. Man, that dude works hard. And he still did his ass to get his kid to the game. Or you know what? We might be romanticizing this. He might have just been the only one who wanted to go to the game. You know what I mean? Like, Dad, we're going to the game. Who knows what it's like? But the kid seems to be enjoying himself. All right. That's going to do it because I got to work on some battery issues with this thing. I may have to... Where do I even go to buy a new plug? Because now I got to buy where do I even go? I don't... I got to take this busted ass plug. I know there's a micro center like about 20 miles away. I could probably do that. We're going to get this battery situation fixed. Pisses me off, and I do apologize, but that's going to do it for today's show. Because where are we at? Should we just keep going? Should we like a car that's out of gas and then just end? Hold on, where are we at battery-wise? 17%. So at 14%, it's going to start flashing, and then it's going to just crash because it's plugged in, power mode, plugged in, better battery. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I go because I don't know what kind of cord this is. Like if I was to order it on, I have to go into an actual store with the cord and go, I need one of these. And they need to like give me, and they'll probably give me, well, you can get a used one and I'll use that. And then it won't work either. This is bad. I'm going to fix this. All right. Thank you for being here. There will be a Pillow Talk show tonight. I talked about the future of the Pillow Talk show. We don't know. We'll see. But we will do a show tonight. And we'll see you then. And, then back again tomorrow for high noon. The battery situation will be fixed. It was 100% when I started. And then it just started to drop. So angry. I'm so angry. All right, guys. See you tonight at 9. All right. Be well. Bye. Things are going good. I always had to be on